Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome into another episode of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault at Sports Talk Matt on Twitter. BetMGM presents this podcast each and every single morning. The offer is above me on the YouTube video. BettingPros YouTube for that $10 offer. Bet $10, win $150 with the promo code JUICE150 when you sign up for a new account with BetMGM. Okay, so it's always fun, 1-0, but the loss for the Philadelphia 76ers? Excuse me? You lost to the Pistons. Whew. Okay. Philly's in big trouble, man. Doc Rivers sitting there blasting James Harden after the game. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So we get that right. 1-0 day. Nice little bounce back after an 0-3 to a 1-0. So we go 4-1, 0-3, 1-0, 5-4. over the last 3 days. So not horrible. We head to Friday. We head to the podcast day that everyone loves because it's the Don't Bet Parlay. It's Parlay, which has been pretty good over the last couple of weeks. We've been pretty consistent with this thing, hitting this thing and being close to hitting this thing. So I got 3 plays. It's a plus 620 parlay to give you guys coming up here today. 2 plays in the association as well. Before we head to Saturday for the Final Four, we've got Duke -4 for 1 unit. I don't care that it's chalky. I am probably going to be on the under first half, 61.5 for Nova and for Kansas. I'm not there yet. Probably going to get on that. And then I'm going to be on, well, it dropped down to 4 from 4.5. So I'm a little concerned about that, but I got to figure out when on Friday am I firing on Nova or am I waiting all the way right before tip, hoping that we get some late movement and we wind up jumping in on the +4 for Villanova. But I will be on Villanova +4, already on Duke -4. And I do think Kansas wins the game, but I could easily see Nova and Duke, and then Duke kind of walking to a championship in Coach K's last season, and cutting down the nets, and the storybook ends the same way that John Wooden's did, and so we'll all see how that all plays out. But before we give you the picks in place for today, our friends at Omaha Steaks, they are back. Boy, you guys have been just doing a great job buying these things. They're in love with the Daily Juice audience here at Omaha Steaks. They've got their semi-annual sale going on right now, 50% off site-wide, 50% off steaks. That's sides, desserts, fillets, everything. You go to omahasteaks.com, type in juice into the search bar, order today, and when you order the Omaha Sampler, it's 50% off, but they'll also give you 12 Omaha Steak Burgers for free with your order when you go to omahasteaks.com. Enter that keyword juice into the search bar. You get the offer, you get the deal, 100% satisfaction guaranteed, delivered safely to your doorstep. It's omahasteaks.com, keyword juice. Go check it out, omahasteaks.com right now, 50% off site-wide with their semi-annual sale at omahasteaks.com, keyword juice into the search bar. All right, so you guys always want the parlay, so let's start with the parlay. So the CBI, the Basketball Classic, whatever the hell you want to call this thing, okay? Fresno State is in this thing. The total for this game opened at 137. The current total for this game is 127. I mean, we have seen an absolute cratering of the total here in this game. So I don't think I feel comfortable jumping in here and going with the under, because the under is probably a good play. The over also may be a good play because, well, the opener was 10 points from now. So the pros clearly didn't like this. Now, Coastal Carolina's been red hot. This game's in Conway, South Carolina. Coastal is 16-12 ATS on the year. Fresno, 18-15-1. Fresno's not been great over the last 5 ATS, 1-4 versus 4-1 for Coastal Carolina. You've got a +3 Coastal Carolina here, and you got a Coastal team that has covered in their last 3 games in this tournament. Maryland Eastern Shore laying 13, won by 24. Florida Gulf Coast laying 3, won by 16 against South Alabama, +1, and they won by 1. The only time Fresno State covered in this tournament, Southern Utah, won by 19, laying 7. They beat Youngstown State, laying 12.5 by 9. Eastern Washington, laying 12.5. They won by 9. They lost in the Mountain West Conference Final by 7, catching 6 points to San Diego State. This is not going to be a pretty basketball game. Okay, I'm just going to tell you this right now. This is not going to be a fun basketball game. This is not going to be an entertaining basketball game. It's going to be an absolute slobber knocker of a basketball game. If you like football being disguised as basketball, this is the type of game that you're really going to enjoy here with Fresno State. But look, I am just going to say that I think the better team, even though they're on the road, the better team is Fresno State. Okay, I'm not in love with this. I don't love the fact that we're going to be laying this. I would rather not lay 3 points. If you want to go money line, you can, but from a parlay standpoint, you kind of have to do it. 65-62, 127 on the number is what Ken Palm's got this. 3-point win for Fresno State. We're going to lay it Fresno State -3 first leg. Second leg, wild to see the Pistons as a favorite. The Detroit Pistons this season, this is the first time all year Detroit has been favored on the road. It's weird. They've been favored 4 times this year. All 4 times they have been favored. They have been favored at home, not on the road. They're laying 4 points. The last time they were favored, they were laying 4 at home against Washington. They lost by 3. The time before that, they were laying 1 against Orlando, and they won by 5 at home. But the time before that, they were laying 3 to Oklahoma City at home, and they lost by 11. These same Oklahoma City Thunder players, they lost by 11 at home. Now the Pistons are on the road, and the Pistons are right now favored. It's a little weird, to be quite honest. They're much better as dogs. Covered the last 3 games as dogs. The last time I didn't cover, they were favored. I'm going to bet against them. Let's take the 4 points. At home, OKC +4 against the Detroit Pistons. I'll probably personally bet this game. I like that +4 a lot. But we'll go Fresno -3. OKC will go -4. And for the last leg to get us to a +620 parlay, let's go and talk about the Vegas Golden Knights in their second consecutive game up against the Seattle Kraken. First game, 3-0 win for the Vegas Golden Knights. Don't mind taking Vegas, but the problem is the number, it's -180, -190. Vegas has won 4-3, 4-2, and 3-0 against the Kraken. This is the last game of the season against the Kraken, and Vegas is desperate for this. Vegas is trying to make the playoffs. They've got Dallas really charging up their back, and Dallas has 4 games in hand against Vegas. They have to win every single one of their games. They cannot lose any of their games. They've won 3 games in a row, beat Nashville 6-1, beat Chicago 5-4, and then shut out Seattle 3-0 here. I do like Vegas to win this game. Not sure I want to go Vegas on the puck line, however, although that may be a decent bet. I'm just going to take the under 6 goals here. I don't think the Kraken are going to score very many goals. The Kraken did score 6 goals against the LA Kings for 7-1, for 7 goals rather, but they've had 3, 7, 6, 6, and 6 be scored over their last 5 games. I think the number 6 is right. I think there's a good chance we get 5 and a push potential. I think there's a good chance it's a 2-1, 3-1 type win for the Vegas Golden Knights here. I think we get the under here. Under 6 goals, Vegas and Seattle for a +620. Don't bet a parlay. All right. Fresno -3, OKC +4, under 6 goals for Vegas and the Seattle Kraken. That is our weekly parlay, which we've had a pretty good in this last iteration. We've been doing pretty well hitting on these +600+ parlays. So there you go. All right. Let's talk about games I have bet, 2 half-unit plays. We're jumping in here, and let's start talking a bit about the New Orleans Pelicans up against the LA Lakers. The number is +1 right now for the Pelicans at WinBet. I am like blown away by how bad the Lakers are. I mean, just horrific. Lakers lose 122-109 last night. They technically, depending on the number you bet, Lakers may have covered for you, but most likely they didn't. 13-point win, pretty much on the number. I think it did close at 13.5 or 14 for Utah, but the Lakers are just god-awful. And now the Lakers are going back home to take on the New Orleans Pelicans in a game that both teams simply have to have. I mean, in the standings, this is like a de facto playoff game here for the Pelicans, and the Pelicans have won both games this year. 123.95, 116.108. Okay, WinBet's got this at +1. This number will not be +1 when you guys get up in the morning. Hopefully you're hearing it overnight. This number, I mean, Pelicans are going to be favored, okay? I'm okay with this all the way up to Pelicans -3. Seriously. I think the Pelicans win this game. I think the Lakers are dead. They've lost 4 of 5. They've lost 126-121 to Philly, 116-108 to New Orleans last time they played, and 128-110 to Dallas. And now tonight they lose again. So sorry, they've lost 4 games in a row, 5 of 6 they have. And the Pelicans, look, against the Western Conference, Pelicans have been okay, 21-25. Lakers against the Western Conference have sucked, 14-31 ATS. 14-31 at home. Lakers are 16-22 ATS. For the Pelicans on the road, they're 18-19. Not horrible. And the Pelicans are playing decent basketball right now. Over the last 10, they have covered 6 out of 10 times. Lakers are just an absolute train wreck. They can't cover. They can't even win these games. What they're losing 3 straight times. They haven't covered now for them. 4 straight losses. 5 out of 6. Pelicans +1. Half a unit. I'm jumping on it. Other half a unit for 2 plays going. Phoenix and Memphis. Just can't quit the Grizzlies. Just can't do it. WinBet's got it at 7.5 tonight. Memphis against the Western Conference is 31-17 ATS. They're at home catching 7.5 points. I would play this, all the way down to 6 here. Memphis catching 6 against Phoenix. Phoenix is 7-3 ATS over the last 10 and 23-14 ATS on the road. They're really good. But at home, Memphis is 25-13, and they've only lost 2 games without Ja Morant. Like 19-2 straight up without Ja Morant. I have a hard time going, yeah, this team should be catching 3 possessions. Like, wait, really? Catching 3 possessions? That seems to be a little bit, short-sighted. On the road, they beat Phoenix, catching 7.5 points, beat them by 1 earlier in the year. When they played at home the last time, they lost by 25 points, but that was a while ago. It was a different Pelicans team, different iteration, different players had made the big trades that they made to acquire all the talent. They were catching 2 and lost by 25. So this is the 3rd time these teams will be playing, and there's a much different looking Pelicans team who did just beat the Spurs by 1. The last time we backed the Grizzlies 2 days ago, it burned us, but they still won, and they've now won 6 games in a row in 7 of 8. Won by 1, 28, 25, 30, 12, and 24. They're at home catching 7.5 points. If you can have access to WinBet, jump on this. +7.5 for WinBet here. We're going Memphis +7.5, half a unit here for us today for half a unit. Okay, so our 2 official plays are Memphis +7.5 and the Pelicans +1, each for a half a unit. The don't bet parlays. Parlay is Fresno -3 in the Basketball Classic Final. Oklahoma City Thunder +4 taking on the Detroit Pistons, and under 6 goals for Vegas and Seattle here on a Friday night for a +620 parlay for the don't bet a parlay. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter @SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it's Daily Juice Podcast, always being brought to you by BetMGM.